Listen closely to this melody. If you close your eyes, that soaring, almost weeping tone sounds identical to a human being singing. But that complex emotional sound doesn't come from vocal cords. It comes from an incredibly slender, deceptively simple instrument with exactly 2 strings. How does a device built this simply capture the vast, intricate range of human emotion? So well, in fact, that it anchors some of today's biggest global film scores. To understand the mechanics of that sound, we have to travel back over 1,000 years to the sweeping landscapes of ancient China. In these rugged environments, nomadic cultures utilized a rudimentary 2-stringed bowed instrument to pass the time and entertain their communities. Over centuries of use, that basic tool physically adapted, its anatomy tightened and refined specifically to maximize musical expression, resulting in the elegant shape we recognize today. By the time it reached formal indoor stages, the erhu transitioned from an isolated desert instrument into a refined staple of classical Chinese musical ensembles. To understand exactly what gives the instrument its signature vocal quality, we need to step inside the craftsman's workshop. Construction begins with the careful selection of highly dense, specialized woods. The luthier carves this wood down to form the erhu's distinct, slender neck. The true acoustic engine sits right at its base. It is a small, hollow resonator box covered by a tightly stretched sheet of python skin. This diagram shows how that organic, scaled surface essentially acts as the instrument's lungs. When the strings are played, the skin catches those microscopic vibrations and aggressively amplifies them outward into the room. The rigid wood and the flexible skin combine to form a vibrating acoustic chamber. Mechanically, it behaves exactly like a human throat. Unlike a violin, the erhu is never tucked under the chin. The musician physically interacts by sitting, resting the bass vertically on their lap. The bow's horsehair is threaded directly between the 2 vertical strings. The player pushes and pulls to strike them from the inside. Meanwhile, the musician's left hand presses the strings in midair to change pitch, relying entirely on tension without a solid wooden fingerboard. This floating technique allows the musician to glide their fingers continuously up and down the string, completely free from the interruption of rigid metal frets. That unbroken sliding produces pitches that bleed seamlessly into one another. It is the exact physical reason the erhu perfectly captures the continuous modulation of human vocal cords. Because of this profound vocal quality, the erhu remains a living, highly demanded tool in modern storytelling. Today, composers frequently integrate it into contemporary Western orchestration and massive global film scores. When a production builds a highly synthesized or traditional orchestral soundscape and suddenly requires a moment of raw, immediate human vulnerability, they write a part for the erhu. That early nomadic survival tool has evolved into an indispensable emotional color on the modern composer's palette. Translating the soul of this instrument for modern audiences requires immense discipline, a mastery embodied by DGEM founding board member Hong Wang. Throughout his career, Wang has taken the erhu to global audiences, delivering performances featured in major international film productions and world-class music events. His individual artistry actively drives the broader mission of DGEM, using direct musical education to build tangible connections between differing cultures. Teaching and performing the erhu serves a specific purpose today. Rather than strictly preserving history, it acts as a deliberate method of forging empathy among listeners. Through artists like Hong Wang, the erhu proves a powerful point. Borders shift and eras pass, but the deep emotional resonance of the human voice remains our universal language.